Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Before you get into it, I just want to respond to a question. I know I wrote it, but I want to respond to the question anyway. And if I pronounce your name wrong, I really apologize. Shakira asked me, am I going to be watching Days? And yeah, you know what? I was thinking about it, and since they're not going to be really showing any more new episodes after Thursday, and this is going by certain sources, I figured, you know what, I get into it, and I watch a couple episodes, and, I do some reviews, and, see if I like the show. Also, I was also thinking about, Bold and the Beautiful, because it has that very, I don't know, it's something about the intro that has that very 90s style that I just love. Very nostalgic. So I might be watching both of them, and I'll do, a review on them during this whole time where they're not going to be, when they're not going to be playing, new episodes. And I don't know, if I really like it, I'll start putting that as for, part of my review. And I don't know. I'll see what the show is like, and I'll go from there. So, but to answer your question, yes, I might, here's the thing, I might start doing it on this Friday, depending if they're going to be playing a Flashback Friday. If they do, then I'll start my review on Monday, and if not, then I'll start my review on Friday. But, I don't know, we'll just wait and see. So, let's get into the episode. Franco is on the phone with Elizabeth and basically says, I'm sorry for the comment that I said. I wish you can be here in person because you had some flowers and stuff. Here's the thing. Liz is like, don't worry about it. We're fine. I'm good. I'm not upset. I'm over it. I love you, blah, blah, blah. Just, it's not a big deal to her. That's what she says to Franco. And then she also says that, don't worry, Nicholas also helped me get over your little comment. The hell would you actually say that to? Why would you say, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you basically says another man or another woman helped me get over the mean or insensitive comment that you said? It's not good. Just not good. It's just not something you should say. That's just my personal belief, but whatever. So anyway, she says that, and Franco's like, okay. So he hangs up the phone. And he's sitting up there eating or whatever, or he's just sitting up there he's just sitting up there I was going to try to say a big word, but he's just sitting up there just thinking or whatever. And his dad comes by. His dad's like, oh wow, nice flowers. You must have did something, you must have screwed up to actually get those type of flowers. And so, they talk about what he did and talk about, pretty much the conversation goes into the fact that Scott's like, listen, you should watch your back when it comes to Nicholas, because they have a history, and Franco's like, nah, don't worry, she's faithful, I'm good, nothing to worry about, our relationship is solid. And then Scotty's like, listen, I used to think my relationship was solid, and I allowed a certain girl to work at a certain nightclub with a certain gentleman, and we all know how that turned out. And pretty much, Scott's like, listen, trust, but verify. Just putting seeds of doubt into Franco's head. And I know that he meant well, but damn, Scotty. Damn. So, next thing, Franco goes to the gym or whatever. I guess they'll blow some steam or whatever. And you got Nicholas there. Now, Nicholas just saw Elizabeth. And when I tell you, it'll probably make more sense. So Nicholas is there, hitting the bag. By the way, he's hitting the bag with no gloves on. He has like the little plastic or whatever wrapped around his hand. Like, I guess that boxers use or whatever to hit the bag and shit. But he doesn't actually have any gloves. So every time he keeps hitting the glove, I'm just sitting there thinking, shouldn't you be wearing gloves? But okay, whatever. Anyway, he's hitting the bag or whatever, And he's like, oh yeah, I just came from seeing Liz. You know, me and her just talked at Turning Woods or whatever, and we're good. And Franco's like, okay, that's cool. You know, just whatever. And Nicholas starts to get in Franco's head. Nicholas is like, oh well, I know some guys don't mind that don't like the girl, the wife, having male friends. And Franco's like, well, it's nothing to worry about with girl. We have a solid relationship. And then Nicholas like, oh yeah, no, you have nothing to worry about because you have a solid relationship. And Franco's like, I know that. That's what I just said. So, Nicholas is being all, he has that cocky look in his face and just kind of like goading him the entire time, like, we're cool, and, we got history and stuff like that. And then he's like, oh, well, like you and Ava, you got history and stuff. And the whole point of this conversation is to goad Franco, to get him jealous of the relationship that Nicholas and Liz has. That's the whole point of this whole thing. And towards the end, Nicholas taps Franco on the shoulder. He does one of these taps on the shoulder or whatever. And Franco jumps. And that was more of a tell to let Nicholas know that he got the Franco. Because he jumped like he was really tense. And, the whole time he's sitting there playing it cool, like, nah, don't worry about it, it's all good or whatever. And then towards the end, he tapped him whatever just to be like, I got under your skin. And then he walks off, and Franco is, kind of tight. I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of annoyed. And, I mean, I can't blame him because, well, I can't blame him to a certain extent, but, like, I just felt like he shouldn't have just let him get under his skin. If you really feel like your relationship is solid, you shouldn't be letting this dude get on your skin like that. And then let's just rewind back to the beginning. Nicholas is seen in Turning Woods talking to Mike, and he's apologizing because, he didn't see him sooner, and, he talks about Spencer. Now he wants to bring Spencer over to see Mike or whatever, because that's his grandson. And, he's just not there just talking to him and stuff. And Liz is hanging at the door corner, just looking at Nicholas, smiling and everything like that. And then Nicholas sees Liz, goes out, the door, whatever, starts talking or whatever. And they're talking a little bit, and Nicholas like, listen, I'm trying to get back to the person I used to be. And Liz is like, I can see that. And then they start talking about Spencer, and Liz once again asked the question, why don't you just dump Ava? Spencer gave you an ultimatum. You leave Ava, and you can have a relationship again. And Nicholas like, well, it's not that simple. And Liz is like, yes, it is. You get 10%, which is more than enough, and you can have Spencer back in your life. And, she could see that Nicholas is like fighting him a little bit or whatever. It's like, yeah, I can see. 10% will probably mostly go to Spencer or whatever. And Liz is like, you know what? Listen, we're not gonna get anywhere, so whatever, F it. And they're talking a little bit, and then Sonny comes in. And Sonny comes in. Sonny talks to Nicholas a little bit, and they go back and forth, and pretty much Sonny's like, listen, it's the same thing over and over again. He doesn't like him. He thinks that Spencer is better off not being in his life, and just this back and forth talk or whatever. And then Nicholas is like, all right, no, whatever, F it. He leaves. So Sonny goes and talks to Mike, and Jason's there. Jason's there the whole time. And Jason asks a very important question. Jason's like, Liz, I need you to tell me what's really going on. This is the point where I needed to take a pause. I literally paused the because of what Liz said to Jason. I actually had to pause it and just go and get me something to drink, because after what I heard, it I mean, for anybody that actually has to go through that, I can't even begin to tell you how heartbreaking it is, and mentally, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to even talk about it. But Liz says something along the lines of, Mike is just holding on because, they're talking or whatever, and Liz is like, Mike is sleeping more, and he's not up as much, and he's forgetting how to eat. He's not really eating as much. And, the reason, he says one of the reasons why they do that is because they just given up, and it's just easier for them to just, let go. And the only reason why they are holding on is for that particular loved one. And I'm not gonna lie, there was part of me, I'm not even joking, like there was part of me that's almost started to tear up. Because I know what that's like, and I think anybody that has went through not just Alzheimer's, but just that in general, when you're in a hospital and you're with your loved one and you're in that situation, you know exactly what it's like. So it was really difficult to hear that, but Jason wanted to ask that question because he knew that Sonny couldn't ask that question, and it was better coming from Jason than anyone else. So that's pretty much what it was about. And Sonny's sitting there talking to Mike or whatever, and they're just talking, and before right when Sonny leaves, that's when Mike holds out his hand or whatever, and Sonny goes back, I guess, out into the hallway, and I think Liz is still there, and Sonny thanks Liz or whatever for just being there for Mike and stuff, and then Liz leaves, and Sonny's like, listen, what did y'all talk about? And Jason just has that look on his face where it's like he knows he has to sit there and tell Sonny. But I'm not gonna lie, it's even hard for Jason to sit there and bring himself to tell Sonny. And Sonny's like, yo, I know y'all talked about something serious, and I need to know, what did y'all talk about? And Jason just flats out, in a... I can't remember the exact words that he used, but it was along the lines of, when they get to that stage when Alzheimer's, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, when they get to that stage where they're not really eating as much and when they're sleeping a lot often in the daytime, that means that they're at the end and they're just waiting for, their loved ones to give them permission. And, again, I just had to pause. Because I DVR'd it. I had to pause and I had to just walk out and just get some air because, yeah, that's pretty much what it came down to. So, let's talk about the, well, I gotta pause it for a second. Hold on. So, let's talk about Sonny before he went to Turning Woods. So, he went to the courthouse and he saw Julian, him and Jason. And Sonny was just like, listen, what does she have over you? And Julian tried to spin some sort of tale about how, Nell came to the bar looking for trouble, and they talked and they bonded over Wiley. And he's marrying Nell so that way he can actually have a place in Wiley's life. And here's the thing, it's not that far off from the truth. He does love Wiley, he does want a place in his life. And listen, we all know what Nell actually has over Julian, but you know what, if it gives him a chance to spend time with that little guy, then it's fine. Sonny's just not buying it. Sonny's like, yeah, listen, we know that you love Wiley, but what does she have over you? And pretty much towards the end, Sonny's like, listen, you need to get a divorce. You need to get an annulment. You need to get an annulment. And he didn't even ask. He was like, you need to get one. And Julian's that they're trying to walk away, and Jason's just kind of standing there like, where are you going? You know, just being silent or whatever. And Sonny's like, listen, if this goes south, it's not going to end well for you. I mean, that's not the lines he used, but pretty much it's like, if this goes south, I'm holding you personally responsible. I.e., I just threaten you. See, this is exactly, and just on the side note, this is exactly why I kind of wish that Julian still was in the fucking mob, because as much as I love Sonny, the fact that he gets to always just come in and bully Julian whenever the hell he wants, and Julian can't do anything to stop him, is like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to refrain from cursing. It's ridiculous, because this was a point when I didn't actually watch it, but I do remember that Julian was actually in the mob. He actually had protection. He had connections. You know, Sonny couldn't just walk all over him and just sit there and tell him what to do. Remember Alcazar? Remember Luis Alcazar? You can just walk up to Luis and be like, yo, you do this or else. Like, Luis actually had connections. Hell, he had federal connections, okay? Damn, I missed the good old days. Anyway, so yeah, he threatens him. And then on the other side of town, you got Nell. Now, Nell is just sitting there playing up this sympathy card with Nina. Nell is all like, oh, listen, I need you to sit there. And, well, she comes up and she's like, she comes to Crimson and she's like, you know, I just want to get trained. I want to get changed. We got an hour break and I want to get changed or whatever up here. And then she's like, listen, by the way, I want to know, are you still down to, like, you know, testify for me? And Nina's like, I don't know, because, you know, this whole thing just seems kind of off and wrong and blah, 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 blah. And then she starts asking, because Nell said that she got married to Julian. Now, Nina's like, oh, well, Julian's a bad person, and, you know, he used to be in the mob, and this, that, and the third. And pretty much what it comes down to is Nell plays the sympathy card. She's like, oh, listen, I'm a mother and you're a mother and stuff like that. And, you know, we fight for our children and I need you to fight for me so I can fight for my child, poor Nell, blah, 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 blah. And at the end, Nina just agrees. Nina's like, fine, I'll testify in your behalf. And then, you know, she gives him a hug. She gives her a hug because she's like, listen, you're a mother and you're trying to look for your child or whatever. I'm just trying to sit there and fight for my child. And I need somebody in my corner. And she plays the whole sympathy card, and it works. It works. So, kind of curious about that whole relationship that's going to be going on between her and Jax. Pretty sure that shit's going to fucking dissolve pretty fucking quickly. Now, downstairs is where it gets kind of interesting. So you got Willow, Michael, Carly, Diane, and Martin Gray. By the way, somebody said that his accent was actually pretty bad and terrible. I actually like his accent. I like that southerner accent. Going into it, so, you know, Diane and Martin Gray are going back and forth or whatever. And, you know, I think Willow says, oh, well, you know, their sham of a marriage isn't going to work because they got married. They got a quickie married or whatever. And Martin's like, listen, y'all two got a quickie married. You know, y'all two got a quickie marriage also. And, you know, Diane's like, listen, they were friends long before they decided to get married. Like, and I have photographs to fucking prove it. And so they go back and forth. And Diane's like, listen, I don't understand why you decide to get you know, why you think it's okay. Like, you got Julian as her husband, and you know that's just going to backfire. And I can't wait to put him on the stand so I can ask him all sorts of questions, you know. And I think Carly says something along the lines of, you know, Julian used to be tied to the mob and stuff like that, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And Martin's like, yeah, he used to be tied to the mob. He's reformed now. And you know what they say about people who live in glass houses? Shouldn't be throwing stones, you know? And honestly, tell you the truth, I was like, Carly, you kind of just need to shut the hell up, because you're sitting there trying to, you're letting Martin Gray bait you into saying something stupid, and all, so in a roundabout way, you know, that's, when she was sitting there, when Martin was sitting there saying, listen, isn't Sonny like allegedly and a mobster and stuff like that? Wouldn't it be nice to like put him on the stand? And so pretty much what it wound up coming down to was like him sitting there saying, I'm going to use Sonny against Michael. And that's when Carly just lost it. Carly was like, listen, if you do that, that would be your funeral. And Mom was like, really? So you care to elaborate on that? And Diane was like, shit. See, this is exactly why I told you to keep your damn mouth shut. Your funeral, as in like, it's just a turn of phrase, And so, Martin was like, well, listen, we should be getting back shortly. And I didn't eat anything. Which reminds me, can I have my food to go? And Carly's like, well, why bother with the trouble when you could just go? And I was like, damn, that was a good one. That was a good one. I was like, okay, Carly, you got that one. That was a good one. And so Martin left. Diane turned around and looked. And Carly was like, I know what you're going to say. And Diane's like, good. So moving forward, how about you try to not threaten him? And Carly's like, well, he made me pissed. Diane's like, we went over this. Moving forward, don't say anything. Let me do all the talking. This is what you're paying me for. Which is true. And, yeah. So that pretty much ends that scene with Carly and, well, with Carly, Willow, Michael, Diane, and Martin Gray. That pretty much ends that scene. And before I go, and I'm not gonna lie, well, I'll tell you my closing things at the end. Franco sees Elizabeth towards the end of this is literally the last part of the episode. And Franco is like, so I just came from seeing Nicholas, and he was there telling me that you and him are starting to become really good friends. And Liz is like, well, we're far from being good friends. The thing that really annoyed me, before I get to the last part, the thing that really annoyed me was that when Franco was on the phone with Liz, Franco was like, are we good? Are we good? Are you still mad about the comment? And Liz is like, no, I pretty much forgiven you. He's like, no, I've forgiven you about that. We're good. We don't even need to sit there and talk about it. But then when she was at Turning Woods with Nicholas, and Nicholas asked sort of the same question, Liz was like, well, yeah, I'm almost good about that. I'm almost okay with his old comment. And I'm just not there thinking, are you almost okay with that comment that Franco said? Or are you okay with it? Because you're giving mixed signals and you're telling Franco that you're good and that you're not upset about the comment. But then when you're with Nicholas, you're like, oh, well, I'm sort of okay. You're like, I'm almost not upset with it. Like, are you kidding me? And so Franco was like, listen, define your relationship with Nicholas. And, Liz kind of rolled her eyes and walked off. But the thing that also kind of pissed me off was that when Nicholas and Liz was talking, and they were talking about Ava, and Nicholas like, well, Ava and Franco have a really long past or whatever, and they're really good friends. Liz got kind of upset. Like, she had that look, like she kind of rolled her eyes a little bit, like she was upset. And I'm like, so you're kind of upset about their past, but the minute that Franco asked you to define your relationship with Nicholas, now you want to sit there and start getting all upset. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So, yeah, that's pretty much where it ended off. Franco asked, define your relationship with Nicholas. And Liz walked off like, how dare you ask me that question? Now, to be fair, you probably shouldn't ask that question, but again, you got upset the minute that Nicholas said anything about their past. So, like, come on. And that's gonna do it for this recap of GH. Sorry it's so long, but yeah, this is probably I'm saying this is the toughest recap or review that I did so far. And I'm not gonna lie, I know it's gonna probably get more tougher, but I think this is probably the toughest part for me of just what I said before that I'm not gonna repeat. But yeah, this whole thing is just good stuff. Good stuff all around. Anyway, I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go. This whole episode just got me a little fucking frazzled. I'm not even gonna lie. It's obvious that this episode got me frazzled. But barring the mic stuff, it was another good episode. But I also felt like not a lot really happened. You know, it's like tension is building up, but nothing is executing. You know, you got tension with Franco, Liz, Ava, and Nicholas, but nothing's really happening. Everything is just kind of boiling up at the surface. So that's what I mean by like nothing really happened. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this recap. Thank you for the views. I really do appreciate. I really do enjoy, you know, doing videos. And it's not even just for the views. It's just for the fact that I like watching General Hospital. I go back to when they used to actually have one on Port Charles. And One Life to Live. When they used to have Will Rappaport and I can't remember, Jessica Buchanan and what was his name? Something Vega. I just remember Vega, the Vega brothers, and not Antonio, but the other one. I go back that far, so I love watching soap operas, and I'm kind of curious between the differences between Days and General Hospital, because I know General Hospital they talk in more of a modern setting, sorta, and like Bold and the Beautiful, and I feel like Days kind of talk in a more soap opera-ish way. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm looking forward to it either way. So be safe, be merry, all that good stuff. Sorry I was a little frazzled today, but this episode, it definitely hit home. I'll just sit there and say that it definitely hit home. So be safe, be merry, all that good stuff. Sorry for rambling, and I will catch you in the next recap.